technique will be used on the public, and it will affect their minds, make them very placid, etc. And they can also use it to put thoughts right into your head, if necessary, by using a secondary beam. The United Nations signed a document with all the countries that had HAARP technology in the 1970s. You should look into that. It's under weather warfare. And the whole idea was dreamed up in the 50s with Teller, who was the inventor of the H-bomb. He said if they can dose the atmosphere with barium salts, aluminum oxide, and others, he said we can make it very conductive, and it will help with this ELF frequency cover vast distances, and they could use it either for altering the weather modification, or they could cause global warming with it, or freezing. One or the other depends on the type of frequency they hit it with. And they said they could also affect the mindset of a target population. Yep. So this is actually in the treaty at the United Nations from the 70s. They have this technology. They're using it extensively across the world.
And by the way, the Baltimore Sun, 8 years ago, did a big report admitting that DARPA is testing antenna arrays across the United States. And it said, to calm the American people, we put off these waves. We love you. We're the government.
Yeah, I've got photographs from Canada, the States, and Europe. They're putting up these strange antennas. They look like tall lampposts with like a windsock on the end of it. I've seen this construction and photographs of construction where they have massive, thick cables going into the bases of them, and this is part of the Technotronic series set up where they can control crowds and whole populations during times of crisis. They can make you literally zombified and very placid if they wish to.
But that's freedom, Alan.
That's the freedom. That's their new freedom. Yeah. Freedom was redefined by Mr. Bush himself.
Well, for the people that think they're going to enforce this system, most of them aren't going to be part of the Brave New Future either, are they?
No, they will not. I think, too, that'll start freaking out them as they get closer to their target. When they personally will see their end coming, they will no longer be necessary. This is interesting. See, technology is very old because the true sciences are kept back from the public and even from professors. There's much higher levels of technology and science existing. And we know this from Nick Begich, who had a documentary on television on the Wendy Mesley Show, where he demonstrated the obsolete technology, little handheld remotes that the CIA used back in the 1950s, where they could put thoughts directly into a target's mind.
By the way, they had said Ted Stevens was beating his brother, but it looks like Senator Stevens is going to be Senator Stevens. Looks like he's beating, that's the Nick Begich's brother,
yes.
Mark Begich. So it looks like he's winning right now in that highly contested Senate race. Just a program note. But you're absolutely right. They've suppressed a lot of technologies. Anything else you wanted to add there, caller?
Yes, one more thing, and this is really important. The powers of observation for everybody are critical, not just in terms of the geopolitical situation. I mean, we really have to use our minds. But in observing nature every day, if you really pay attention, you will see things you've never seen before. We had a period of 6 weeks. I live in a small mountain village in northern New Mexico where we have farming and ranching. There was a period of about 6 weeks or more where things stopped growing, literally stopped growing. Flowers didn't bloom. Crops that had been planted weren't getting any bigger. And when I noticed it myself with regard to my indoor plants and my outdoor flowers and so forth, these are plants that are potted, mind you, not even in the ground. I pointed out
everything these elites do is about playing God. Total matrix dominance, total, I mean, they have all these terms, but go ahead. Full spectrum dominance.
Well, this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks. They weren't dying, but they weren't flourishing. They weren't growing. So when I talked to local people, local farmers about it, they said yes, they had observed the same thing. They didn't know what was going on. I posted on a message board that goes out across the country, and people posted the same thing. They said, yes, we noticed it was very strange. So what if? I mean, it's a what if. what if this energy that they're manipulating could be used to stop things from growing?
No, it can be used to kill you. So, of course,
Exactly.
but listen, 2 billion bees, or close to 80% of them in England, just drop dead. They're dropping dead everywhere. Other animals are dropping dead. Whole bird species are dying. Meanwhile, the globalists dance around going, it's for the earth, when really they want to destroy the earth and rebuild it in their image, playing God. Alan Watt is our guest. Again, we'll be right back for everybody on the AM and FM dial. We're going to be taking some more calls, so I want to get to everybody here on the Infowars.com streams only during this break. I joke around about all this because it would be too stressful if I didn't, but this is all very serious, and it's all very, very painful to admit that we've gotten to this point. Okay, Alan, let's take another call. Very interesting call from Donna in New Mexico. Your comments to what she was just saying.
And she's right on. Even here in Canada, where I am here, this is the blueberry area for this country, and they literally didn't get enough sunlight this year. It rained every single day, June and July. Heavy, heavy spraying. This is the global dimming they talk about at NASA. Of course, they're causing...
Yeah, NASA brags. They've dimmed the Earth by 20%. That's BBC report. And they admit they're chemtrailing, but it's only on university sites, and then no news will touch it.
That is correct. And also, there's no birds here. There's just no birds. I can walk through the forest here, and there's not a single bird. The moles are coming out of the ground and dying. And I've noticed quite a few of them this last couple of months. So they're being poisoned by the stuff that's coming down in the spray as well.
God, they're just slaughtering us. And then they're going to say it's a global economic environmental crisis, and then say that we've all got to be enslaved to stop it.
Yeah, and then blame us for doing it and getting us to believe it. It's a brilliant strategy. Yeah.
All you've got to do is just be completely ruthless, and it's a brilliant strategy. Let's go ahead and talk to Rico in Toronto. Rico, you're on the air.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Alan, I have to say I really respect your work. Alex, too, of course. So I just want to say that off the bat. Second, the other thing I want to say also is, Alex, I'm sure you probably didn't get a chance to catch James Bond, the new movie that came out Friday.
No, but every James Bond has all these pro-New World Order brainwashing messages. What's the latest brainwashing?
Oh, Alex, this baby is crazy. Okay, there's a scene where they go into a movie theater, like he's in a movie, not a movie theater, I'm sorry, a theater, where all the shadow elite group is like communicating in the theater itself. There's a giant eye that opens up, and it's all Catholic priests. Then, at the bottom of it, of the altar, if you will, there's a bunch of people who are being dragged as prisoners to basically the eye, like in front. Then there's a woman that comes out with a knife, and she's basically sacrificing this guy that's tied up to the eye and to basically the whole altar. I was like, my God, propaganda. So
they're just throwing Illuminati, Catholic, the Catholic Church is the Illuminati, human sacrifice?
Yes, and it's like basically it's like the goddess Gaia, she's sacrificing to the eye. Then after that you have he basically, like, the whole movie is about a war for the resources. The shadow group makes the government, the dictator that they're putting back in, sell them the water rights to basically, like, the whole country.
But let me guess that the MI6 James Bond is going to save us?
Yes, he basically goes, like, he's not with it, the Americans are with it, the CIA section chief is with it.
Well, let me just say this. I mean, obviously the Vatican's corrupted New World Order. I mean, I'm not even Catholic. But I am seeing major pushes to make it only about it being a Catholic conspiracy in the media. But then meanwhile, the new Da Vinci Code movie, Angels and Devils, is about the Catholic Church being the good guys and it being an Anglo-American Merovingian. Alan Watt, let's come back out of break and get your comment on this. Okay, behind the scenes there, we were talking to Rico in Toronto. He went and saw the new James Bond movie. No, I didn't go see it. I mean, I'm dealing with all the admitted world government being set up in front of me. They talked about how it's like Catholic priests doing human sacrifice to the Illuminati in the movie, and I got some emails about it. I haven't seen it myself yet. So on that side, it's saying it's a Catholic conspiracy. Then you have the new Angels and Devils coming out with, all these big actors like Tom Hanks, where it's the Catholics fighting the Illuminati. And I can tell you what that is. That's about making it factionalized or divide and conquer, where now people will fight about which group is it really when the New World Order controls both groups. Correct, Alan Watt?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Even Malachi Martin, who was a Jesuit priest, said that the Vatican had been totally taken over and is now run by Freemasons. And these are the same Freemasons that run the Protestant sides as well. It's the same Freemasons that go over and get knighted by the royalty. That's one of their high ambitions, of course, if you serve the great work.
And see, let's be clear. We're not having a debate about the Catholic Church pushing world government. The last two popes have called for it. We're not debating that. We're just stating the facts of what it is today. And for some reason, groups out of Israel fund the idea that if you don't only talk about Catholics being the source of all evil, that you are in their employ. And I mean, that's just